All right. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another Super Metroid Item Randomizer League match. I again am Android Dreams, and today at 6 p.m. Eastern, I am joined by Sir Cabby. And Sir Cabby, he is a part of Team BabySkipsSkips. And Sir Cabby is up against Ploff27. Ploff27, she is a part of Team Pro Gamer Girls and Komaru. I think we will have a very good race on our hands in the SRL channel. They were both talking about doing a little bit of practice this week. Week 2 of the Super Metroid Item Randomizer League is Dash Randomizer Week, so there's a few changes in the Dash Randomizer as far as utility to a couple items, as well as different damage values for the different suits, and also you start with a baby charge beam, so you have some charge utility but not full damage on those charge shots until you find the real charge beam item. So we'll definitely be talking about that stuff throughout the run. And it looks like we've got a prediction going in the chat. Get your bets in, win those sweet channel points. Which suit do you think will be picked up first? And while talking about suits, one change to consider while making your bet is that gravity can be located in Brinstar, with the exception of old Brinstar, where our runners are going to be right now. So that is the change from some of the other randomizer logic that we do have. So we've got Vanilla Morph Ball on the pedestal for Ploff. She's going to pick that up first, and Sir Cabby's going to follow just behind. And with that, Ploff is going to show us that there is a little bit of a decision here. You can either go down to alpha or just straight across. If you want to go somewhere like there's a reserve tank in the ceiling. So and Ploff, she's actually going to go ahead and skip over that. Your Cabby's going to pick it up. The reserve tanks do still provide some benefit as far as helping with health management. There's definitely been times where you can kind of get saved by them. So not the worst thing, but a lot of people will opt to skip those items. And just a regular missile behind the item in the ceiling as well as down below. So our runners, bombless at this point in time, are going to find some kind of progression item at the bomb tree zone. All right, no bombs means no minor checks along the way up to Bomb Chorizo. So no 230, no old Mother Brain, no item behind Morph Ball. So we're going to have a right side climb on Ploff's side, and Sir Cabby will be there in a moment, and we'll see what he decides to do as far as climb technique. And it looks like Sir Cabby's going to use a right side climb as well. Ploff being first into the parlor. Really struggling with room names lately. But yeah, that's parlor. And heads to Bomb Chorizo now. So we'll see if it's speed or screw or regular bombs here. And it's screw attack. So screw attack is going to allow the runners to have access in and out of gauntlet through the front. Not the back unless they find bombs. And even then, that's a little tricky, especially on 1E tank. There's another possibility that screw attack could be utilized to open up the second minor item in Brinstar Reserve. So screw attack this early. I mean, it does also help with just taking out enemies really fast. You can definitely use it to your advantage in certain rooms that might be a little bit more troubling. And there's a spazer at Terminator, so we can go ahead and talk about one of the changes in item utility Spazer is going to give our runners access to waterway speed blocks and the speed blocks in Botwoon Hallway. So a little bit added utility in a Spazer to incentivize people to think about picking it up a little bit more than they might in other randomizers. And bombs is the other item that has a little bit of updated access utility. So bombs is also going to give you access to wreck ship reserve in the dash randomizer. But Cabby is going to go check out the gauntlet here, and Ploff, she's going to head straight into Green Brinstar, and just a vanilla E-Tank at gauntlet and no bombs, so is going to have to either didn't save, I don't think, so is going to have to just go out the front again. And there's a E-Tank at the Brinstar reserve as well, and there's a power bomb pack, so Ploff's not going to need to do the screw attack jump to be able to unlock that first super pack either, so making that a little easier. Sir Cabby's going to need to be a little careful here. Can't super the yapping maws, so does have to watch out for them to mess with them at that kind of health. Did have the reserve tank though. And there's another missile pack for Ploff. She's gonna pick that up to be able to use that crumble block to get out of here. That reverse mock ball is not an easy thing to pull off, and a super missile pack under the bridge that I didn't see on the way in. Yeah, and Gauntlet, it's one of those things, if you don't do it early, it becomes kind of troublesome. Like, you know that there's not going to be a suit there, but there could be something else that's pretty valuable, like even something just like ice, to know what you're really looking at as far as a Turian. It's pretty important. And we've got a vanilla E-Tank down here at the Etacoons. So for a while, we're going to see Sir Cabby following in Ploff's footsteps for the most part. I wouldn't expect either runners to be making a ton of minor checks, so like no Etacoons minor. I mean, the one behind that Ploff was just in, that one, but not the other one, the power bombs. And Sir Cabby looking for a little bit more ammo before being able to head into the reserve, using that screw attack to take out the enemies, grabbing the missiles, so now he can open the door. And Ploff is going to be first into Big Pink, so with the Spazer, she's got access to 3 major checks just in this vicinity right here. It's just a regular missile, so Ploff, she's going to skip out on that. E-Tank grab for Sir Cabby at the reserve item. And Ploff's going to have to go for that turnaround. I think that needed to be a little higher. That one should do it. So you really got to get close to that grapple block, kind of sneak right under it. After you do that for a while, you can actually do it without hearing it, an audible cue. You can kind of know if you did it right or not. But picking up bombs, so that's the other utility item that's going to give extra major access. So bombs unlocking that wreck ship reserve item, as we talked about before. A few items not just speed locked in this logic, so a lot of options for Ploff and eventually Sir Cabby when they come to the Red Tower. They don't have the easiest way across the moat as of right now. They can still find a couple items that could change that. And there's a Various suit, so now that kind of influences that choice a little further. We have noticed that this waterway can be pretty dangerous with Spazer. The enemies down here can do a bit of damage, but with Varia, that's less of a something to worry about for Ploff at this point. And it's a reserve tank. Seen a few of those today. Reserve tanks at the waterway, and super easy access to them. But at least, you know, knowledge is power, as they say. Congratulations to all those who bet on the various suit. You are the big winners. So way to go. All right, Ploff's gonna grab the missiles at Green Hill Zone. Sir Cabby's gonna grab the missiles in the middle of Big Pink. Forget Waterway. Yeah, there you go. The only time that you know to cheer for that. Oops, excuse me. Sorry about that. Bumped the microphone. And no real easy access to X-Ray, but Ploff looks like she's gonna possibly either use bombs or, or could just be looking for power bomb refill, I suppose. Yeah, and that probably is more likely than what I was. Got a little bit ahead of myself, maybe. But it is very important actually to know where you can get refill spots without having to venture too far for ammo that you might need in a pinch. Yeah, I was ready for that too, Papa Schmo. I was just, like, pumped about watching somebody do that. It's like, sweet, that's a fun thing to watch people do, but... And not to discredit Ploff at all. Like, I can't do that, so that's not an easy thing to do either. Yeah, the third reserve, or no, I'm sorry. They've found 2 reserves so far. Ploff getting that running jump into the Kraid area in Brinstar. So deciding to go down, I think that when your only options are a horizontal bomb jump or a CWJ into wreck ship and you find Varia, I think it's pretty easy to get pulled down. There's a second power bomb pack. So pretty light on the power bombs so far, and only 2 super packs for our runners. So got one of those stingy dash seeds, it looks like. And there's that reserve tank for Sir Cabby. So that is the third one then. Because there was the ceiling, Spazer, and waterway. All right, Ploff is setting up for the quick kill on Kraid. Freezes the hand, and she nails the 4 supers right into the mouth. Now has to play Find the Door. Or maybe other people don't have to play that, but that's what I always feel like I'm playing. And wins a gravity suit for her fight with Kraid. So looking like a pretty fast seed already. The runners do at least have bomb access to worst room in the game. They've got their way through Meridia with Spazer. So as far as the runner's comfort, the real thing that they're all looking at is damage output now. And hopefully we'll see Ploff come back online here. Not online, just live here pretty soon. I don't know about online, hopefully not. That's like the worst thing that happens in these races when somebody has computer issues. But Sir Cabby is ready for a crate fight. Doesn't freeze the hand, which isn't is definitely something you can do, but nails 4 super shots with the hand movement, so very nicely done by him. And Sir Cabby's going to be rewarded with a gravity suit as well. So we'll see what's at the Kraid E-Tank here pretty soon on Sir Cabby's side. And it's a vanilla flavored E-Tank in the ceiling there in the normal crate item. And it looks like Ploff is back. So that's good news. That's great news. And so looks like we will have to wait to find out on Sir Cabby's side what's happening at the Ice Beam. But Ploff is into the can room to see what's at high jump boots. Oh, and Sir Cabby just dials up the drama by going here first, so we have to wait longer on ice now. Man, the madman. Okay, looks like there might be a indication that Charge Beam was at ice based on something our tracker noticed on Ploff's stream. But we will find out for sure here at when Sir Cabby arrives at ice. Oh, and skipping it. So heading into the Cathedral Zone. Ploff having a really nice Cathedral right there. Sir Cabby having a nice one as well. That little mock ball roll off that single space pillar. Something that it's a really fun technique. I enjoyed using it when I got into any percent. But there's a lot of satisfying movement in this game when you learn how to do it. All right, so Sir Cabby going for some wall jumps. Those are pretty difficult, if I'm being honest. So Sir Cabby's gonna look to enter the room again, and maybe deciding to go over to Croc. It's going to need a missile, do a gate glitch through the missile. With the blue doors, you can use the regular missiles, though, so it gets it using the way up technique. I didn't see what was at speed. I was watching the other screen. Just an E-Tank. Thank you, 2D. Shoutouts again to 2D Tones, our tracker for this race. Thank you very much. And here we've got Crocomire. He's looking a little melty, but he's still good. He is a pretty good boy. But he's going to get backed up into some lava here, which is kind of unfortunate. Or I guess that's acid. but that's what he does, so it's okay. It's the circle of life, everybody. And Wave Beam has grapple, so now they've got X-ray access. They've also got a pretty quick method for killing Dragon, so that's going to come in pretty handy. A lot of farming utility in grapple as well, so. And just a vanilla E-Tank behind Crocomire. So one more check for Sir Cabby down here before having to make a decision between Lower Norfair and Bubble Mountain. And looks like we're about to get a reserve check on Ploff's side. So we'll see what she gets over there. Finds another Power Bomb pack, but already up to 15. Gonna go ahead and skip that for now. Having Varia. Not really gonna need a Crystal Flash, but already has enough for the Metroid rooms. And it's our 4th reserve tank before Lower Norfair, but another super pack, which has been pretty tough to come by this race. So Ploff is going to decide that she wants that extra super, and I don't think I blame her. Oh, man. Sir Cabby channeling his inner Mom Spaghetti song, giving it one shot and getting through the green gate glitch. I don't know. I don't remember the name of that song. You know what I'm talking about, though. And Ploff, she's going to decide to hit up Crocomire as well. And another E-Tank. So 2 E-Tanks down here for Ploff, meaning that the goods are elsewhere. Our runners can gravity jump into Lower Norfair and use bombs to get all the way through. So it's still possible that the items on the table are there. As far as stuff like high jump boots and speed booster, ice beam, plasma, other things that you're going to want, they're going to have to go somewhere else to find those items. And we might see our runners split up, depend on what their comfort level is, as far as going to Lower Norfair with the loadout that they're going to have. And Sir Cabby possibly hinting at a Lower Norfair run by checking more ammo, maybe wanting some more DPS. We're still not sure what's at that ice beam location that we know Ploff checked out. That's the song. Thank you. That kind of thing, though, that Sir Cabby did with having just one super to try that gate glitch, like, that's extremely nerve-wracking when you're in a race to know that you just have that one try at it, really. All right, Ploff is finishing up the Crocomire fight. And it looks like Sir Cabby is going to be going to Lower Norfair from the Crocomire area. And we also have a raid from Speed Gaming 2. So welcome, everybody. Whether you're joining us from the raid or you're tuning in on your own, we've got a race between Sir Cabby and Ploff27, and this is a dash randomizer. And it's part of Season 3 of the Super Metroid Item Randomizer League. So welcome, and I hope you guys are buckled in, because we're in for a great race, I think. And, Sir Cabby actually going the intended route for Bubble Mountain access. So it's going to come here into the double chamber room first. Oh, it just happens to K-go through one of those yellow platforms, which is, I mean, it's just something that happens, especially, I don't know, I feel like it happens right when you're in a rhythm or something. You just go and do something that you normally do and just happen to K-go through the platform. There's a second power bomb pack for Sir Cabby. And Ploff is gravity jumping to Lower Norfair and gets it. First try, very nicely done. And we'll see if she decides to take a save. So can possibly save Scum at Gold Chorizo. Bombs are pretty slow. There could be something there that makes the exit faster, but without knowing, probably just better off taking the 10 seconds for saving, 15 seconds, whatever it's really going to cost you with the door transitions. And that low super pack rate is really going to make that a little bit more nerve-wracking too. And Ploff giving it a go at this green gate and gets it, and can also just use screw attack on these rippers, and they have really good super drop rates. So it has a good spot to refill the supers there. It's gonna fall through the floor, and is rewarded with plasma beam, so that save Scum is not gonna matter anymore. And we will be seeing a IBJ out of here. Sir Cabby grabs an E-Tank that's at the speed booster location. Yeah, these bomb jumps get pretty time consuming. I mean, they're just a necessary evil, but sometimes they take a little bit of time. The one at worst room in the game is a little bit better. It's not, I don't think the depth is as much as it is in that room. But yeah, it's really crazy how much high jump boots impacts how long that takes. All right, so Ploff's going to continue her way through Lower Norfair, making it into worst room in the game. Having a screw attack, so it's a pretty not that bad room in the game at this point for Ploff. And Ploff starts her IBJ up worst room in the game, the only way that she has to get through it at this point. And once she gets up to this platform, there we go. She is in much better shape, so not as concerning. When you get up here, you could still have something really bad happen and fall down, but you don't have to worry about that too much. Cabby going for this gate glitch again. Looks like looking to enter in the same direction from to Lower Norfair. Yeah, and this is a kind of a fun room that Ploff is just in with screw attack, when you can just you just screw attack into all the pirates and just wait for their drop. That's kind of a fun thing to do when you're just looking for ways to refill on your way through here. And there's an ice beam, so really good beam combo as far as we know. We still unsure on that charge beam, but potentially all four of them. So just a wave is MIA right now. But it is a little bit dark in this room, which can make it tough to navigate. But Ploff gets that wall jump. Now just has to figure out her way around the claw, or the spike things on the wall. I always thought it was like a claw. All right, so Ploff is headed down into Wasteland as Cabby just starts his entrance into Lower Norfair and is going to just be following, really, what Ploff has already shown us. And Missile Pack there at Wasteland, or Power Bombs of Shame, as I guess as they're called. And Cabby getting that Plasma Beam also, so we'll see a IBJ from him to get out of this hole. Alright, as Cabby starts the long jump up screw attack, Ploff has finished off her Metal Ninja Pirates and is looking to head into the pre-Ridley room. Oh, and Sir Cabby not having these blocks broken, you can add a power bomb into your bomb jump. But it's gonna have to start this over now. But went for the double bomb jump or at least planting one on the way up. That was a really nice attempt, though. Yeah. Ploff's gonna farm up on these dragonfly things a little bit, but has maxed out everything, so gonna head on into Ridley. Supers do double damage to Ridley, doing 600 instead of 300. So we'll see if Ploff decides to wait till Ridley turns red, and then she can just spam supers to finish off Ridley. And Sir Cabby gets that that IBJ up the screw attack room. And having a nice Ridley fight so far. And there sees the red and then decides to use the super missiles. Ridley being a little uncooperative. And there we go, gets grabbed. So Ridley is now taken care of. So nicely done by Ploff. Sir Cabby begins the IBJ up worst room after taking out those golden pirates. And there's that wave beam. So looks like we've got beam go for Ploff on her side. Yeah, ice was at Fireflies. Oh, well, we suspect a beam go as far as the item that could be at ice still. But Sir Cabby is gonna check out the room, and just finds missiles in the generic and completely unaffiliated with the giant corporation mouse room. And Ploff setting up for this clip through the power bomb blocks in Wasteland, which you can use to do a deboost, and looks like gonna abandon that idea, but head set up for it. Yeah, and I agree. It looks like Ploff. Looks like she's in full-on go mode here. So there's that ice beam on Sir Cabby's side getting picked up. So I don't know. I mean, I think based on how quickly Ploff killed Ridley with the charge shots or damaged Ridley down, I think she does have charge, because I'm under the impression it would have taken more shots, even if it was just plasma and ice at the time. But maybe I'm wrong. So Cabby heading into the first Three Musketeers, or whatever, Three Stooges, or whatever you want to call them. The Three Amigos, the Three No, you can't call them the never mind. Yeah, it looks really like Ploff at this point. I mean, we maybe could see a Ridley check or a Dragon check, space jump, location check, and of course we'll see what's at Bot Wound. But I think for Ploff, I think that's all she's really going to be looking at this point. She seems to be ready to go, and she's going to do this frog speedway skip thing, which always I always mess up. But basically, you register some shots using wave and at least spazer or plasma, and you shoot these invisible shot blocks that you can't see off screen, and I guess it messes up something with the memory in the game, and it allows you to run through those speed blocks. But yeah, every time I try to do that without a save, I get stuck there. So glad for Ploff that she didn't have the same problem that I do there. And Sir Cabby's going to farm up to full supers here before heading into Ridley. And looks to be in for a pretty long fight. So Ploff's definitely built herself up quite a nice lead here, heading out of Norfair and back up to the surface through Meridia. And Ploff is going to hit up the Sloters refill, so shout outs to Sloters. And while we're shouting out to Sloters and watching Ridley fight, we do have some more matches today. So here in about 20 minutes, we actually have Sloters and Kip going head-to-head against each other. So that should be a great race. And then we do have another race at 9:30 p.m. That is going to be Beef Robert and King Salmon. And 9 p.m. we've got Simo and Hacksaw. However, we don't have anybody volunteering at the moment, so we're not sure if that one's going to get a roost stream or not. But Ploff has made her way into Meridia, so I would expect we'll see her try to get through here pretty quickly, turn that spazer back on to get through Bot Wound. Oh, it has ice actually, so it could just ice clip, not have to menu. Ooh, and some grapple strats coming on out from Ploff here. I like that. Yeah, no speed booster. You have to resort to either doing this or doing gravity jumps to get through Everest. And Ridley still going down here on Sir Cabby's side. Is getting a little low on health, so I believe that there's different damage values even when the suits are combined. I'm not sure about that though. But Ridley gets into a pogo. Oh, doesn't quite get turned around though. That's always tricky when you don't quite get there. Oh, and Sir Cabby gets grabbed, and Ridley is dead. That was getting down to the wire there. And then Cloth has a fight with Botwoon here and doesn't have X-ray, so it's just gonna do some normal full charge beam shots. There's that wave beam pickup on Sir Cabby's side. And we'll see if Sir Cabby goes and remembers that ice location. But it's still green, so I don't think that will be an issue. And Ploff using bombs has to go the long way, not having speed booster. But no problem for Ploff. And Sir Cabby still a little bit low on health. Does have some reserve tanks, though. I'm not sure how full they all are. But with the screw attack, should be alright. But still has to be a little careful. Ooh, Ploff setting up for that D-boost on those spikes and gets it. But is into the precious room to head into a fight with Dragon. Sir Cabby's going to continue on out of Lower Norfair as we see Ploff setting up for possibly a grapple kill. He could start with a charge shot as Dragon swoops down, but just waiting for Goop at this point. So she can go and plug the grapple beam into the wall. And it looks like should be getting that gooping spree here. Jumps and nails that early Dragon kill using that lower socket that if you get grabbed, you have to kind of wait for the top one unless you do it in a certain spot. So nicely done by Ploff. And not even a Dragon check here. So Ploff definitely going for it. But, you know, both runners really, at this point, are having pretty decent times here. Like, they know they're not going to have to backtrack, and they know that at this point they can really complete the game. So... yeah, I would have checked for vanilla space jump, but I wouldn't have even checked for vanilla space jump. I just would have checked it, even though I probably don't need to. I mean, Ploff could feel behind. I mean, you never know what's going to happen with these. And you also know that sometimes even if you find the right, you know, whatever the quote unquote right route is, that your opponent could have too and could be doing even better. So it's always up in the air. It's hard to not feel behind in a race. I mean, maybe if you're like Zost or like some of the really good runners that we have in our community. Maybe they're not as worried about it as a lot of people are. But it's pretty interesting how much racing, just the aspect of racing, gets into your head during this. And there we are now confirmed charge beam at ice location. So it looks like Sir Cabby's now picked that up and likely is going to be good on ammo from here on out. But we'll see if he decides to make any extra checks. And Ploff might be checking Sandpit, but also could just be using this for transportation, opposed to having to use Spazer to get back through that one room for the speed blocks. So a lot of items, like no movement items, and at 45 minutes, Ploff is headed to wreck ship to face off with Fantoon, and that's the final boss before heading down to Mother Brain. Tickles the ponkfish a little bit. Or I don't remember which way it has to be turned to be what fish, but tickles the fish a little bit. And takes the drops from those 3 bugs that spawn there. And is back to the top, or up to the top of Red Tower to head over to the wreck ship. And Cabby was using some Nintended strats through this room also. So making use of that grapple beam. Really nice. It's not easy, actually. That's something that I've definitely talked about with other people, is that sometimes when you have grapple and you're going suitless through some of these rooms, it feels easier than doing it with grapple and gravity. But I mean, both runners still looking at very good times considering they don't have any movement items. And at this point, Ploff is not going to get any other majors. Pretty confident about saying that. All right, and we've got Fantoon coming onto Ploff's screen right now. And bot wound fight at the same time for Sir Cabby on his. And there's the E-Tank pickup for a quick refill on Sir Cabby's side. And nice Fantoon fight using that full beam combo for pretty quick Fantoon fight on Ploff's side. Very nicely done. And picks up a bunch of ammo, so probably looking to skip a refill at the ship. Which at this point should be a totally reasonable decision to make. Can definitely just use regular missiles on frozen Metroids to get to full supers pretty easily. Sir Cabby gets into the Precious Room ready for a Dragon fight, and is going to check this miner on the right here. And it's another super pack. So Sir Cabby's going to go ahead and snatch that up to just have some extra ammo against Dragon in case he needs to use them. And Ploff already out of the wrecked ship. She is on her way down to Turian now. So as we get closer and closer to the end of this race, if you haven't already, make sure that you give both of our runners a follow. They're both putting on a really good race. No movement items, and both coming into, the last remaining portion of the race here within under an hour. So putting on a great show. Make sure you give them a follow, and make sure you also follow our tracker today, 2D Tones. He's been putting in some serious work for us on the tracking today. And that's a dead Dragon on Sir Cabby's side, so just one boss left up in the wreck ship for him. And Ploff having Ice Beam cause a little bit of havoc, but gets through Terminator no problem still. And is into the pre-Turian room, and there's a check that we didn't get on Ploff's side. So there's that X-ray scope. That's going to allow Sir Cabby to microwave Fantoon, so possibly going from a 2-round fight to a 1-round fight. And Cabby bomb jumps out of the Dragon room. Ploff, she gets grabbed by one of the Metroids, but has bombs, so can force the Metroid to unhook. Oh, gets grabbed by that other one too. Takes out the ones that were frozen. Oh, there we go. And gets through Metroid Room 1. Uses a grouping strat in Metroid Room 2. And heads into Metroid Room 3. And has a really nice room there too. So Ploff making pretty quick work of these Metroid rooms. And Cabby is headed back into the post-bot wound room. So no speed. We're going to see Cabby also have to go back through this little maze. And could possibly also use the sand pit to get through as a quicker way. Yep, looks like Cabby's going to go ahead and do that. Or not. Decides to... or does. Maybe just wanted to farm up the worms a little bit. But Ploff turns off Screw Attack to set up for a Ice Zeb skip. And gets grabbed by the baby, so faces to the right to save. Oh, and turns to the left at the last minute. I thought she was faced to the right. Maybe I didn't see that right. But gets grabbed by the baby. He's going to need to take a quick refill. Cabby making his way out of Meridia to head up to the wreck ship for a Fantoon fight of his own. Cabby showing off some excellent grapple strategies as far as like kind of getting stuck on the top and then standing on them. And Ploff is through the last Ghidorah of the game and headed into the Zeb room. And Ploff starts the Mother Brain 1 fight. Has plenty of just regular missiles to pump into Mother Brain, but is going to use up those supers with full beam combo. Really, no reason not to. And is ready to start Mother Brain 2. And it's going to be really close to an hour time. You know, with no speed or high jump boots, it could go to an hour. I could see, but still a really good time, honestly. And Sir Cabby also putting on a nice run. To be completely honest, he's also had really nice gameplay. And it looks like Ploff is ready for some stand-up. So turns off Varia, eats that beam to the face. And damages down the rest of the way. And is I don't know much about stand-up, but I know that when this Metroid comes in for the cutscene, you have to be off the ground. So jumps at the last minute to avoid getting locked into the ground, and is going to then position to basically deliver charge shots to Mother Brain 3 during the cutscene to cut down on the amount of times that Hyper Beam needs to be used to finish the fight. So at this full beam combo, from what I understand, it saves 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Maybe I'm wrong on that number, and I'm thinking of something else. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that time frame in the chat. All right, so Ploff having going through the cutscene now, dishing out those charge shots, and Sir Cabby with the microwave strat has fan tuned down in one round. I think it was 9 hyper beam shots for Ploff, so she had a very nice stand up there. And Ploff is starting her escape. Sir Cabby makes his way out of the wrecked ship. And yeah, I think Ploff's gonna have a sub hour here. So it looks like that's gonna work out very well for her. She really had a nice run here. Played really well, routed really well. I mean, even Sir Cabby did both those things, so hats off to Ploff for her excellent run here today. Oh, and Sir Cabby narrowly escaping another item fanfare on those vanilla missiles at the moat. All right, Ploff makes her way back into the parlor as Sir Cabby is into and through Terminator now. And no saving the animals for Ploff. She's back to the surface. And she is touchdown on the ship. She's going to finish with official SRL time with 58 minutes and 38 seconds, improving her personal best by 7 minutes and 14 seconds. So congratulations to Ploff. GG's to her. And we are currently being joined by Ploff for the interview. Congratulations, Ploff.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so how did everything go? How was that seed for you?
So the seed was free, right? It was pretty easy. Let's see. I definitely made a couple made one major macro mistake and a couple of very dumb micro mistakes. Going to Croc was a misplay. Like I entered Croc, and at that point I already had both suits. I entered Croc, and it was during like the Croc spawning in cutscene that I was like, "Why am I doing this? I have gravity suit. I could just gravity jump into Lower Norfair," because I was thinking like, "Oh well, okay, so we need to go get high jump boots because then I could lava dive into Lower Norfair," completely forgetting that I had gravity and am completely comfortable doing the high jumpless gravity jump in. Yeah, yeah, and then the like grapple beam was shockingly the star of this run for me. I remember, I don't remember where grapple beam was, but I picked it up, and I was thinking like, oh, I don't think I need this for anything progression-wise, but like, I guess it's useful for frying the shrimp, so why not? And it turns out that it's like, oh no, this was actually very useful because I needed it to get through Mount Everest, because I don't know if you can. I think you can do that with a gravity jump without high jump. But as I recall, it's one of the really, really tight ones that you see sometimes in low percent.
Yeah, you can do it with. I think that it helps if you do a kneeling jump, but yeah, you can't do that with a gravity jump.
Yeah, yeah.
But still, you still had a way through, so it's all good.
Yeah, yeah. It all worked out. Everything was fine. I don't do many high jumpless seeds because I tend to prefer going to Lower Norfair early. If you can, because you can usually take like a more efficient route if you do that. And because of that, like I usually end up finding high jump because I don't know the high jumpless lava dive. I've been meaning to learn it, but I just haven't. So it's rare for me to actually finish out a seed without high jump. Not even less without any movement items at all. I found literally all the items except for the movement items, all the majors, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, and I was even gonna say that even outside of high jump, no speeds, no any other movement items. You still had a sub-hour time, so you still played really well. I thought you routed really well also.
Thank you, thank you. I thought that except for the croc play, I would say that the macro was quite good. Like I was pretty pleased with my routing. Oh, there was one other routing mistake. When I was leaving Lower Norfair, I should have gone the croc escape route because I had grapple and I wanted to pick up a health refill on the way. Because I didn't do that, I had to go get the Slaughter's refill, which was a little out of the way, which was unfortunate. And that was another point where I literally just wasn't thinking, but it serendipitously works out fine anyway. Like I went to Frog Speedway as I was leaving Norfair, and I got to Frog Speedway before realizing I didn't have Speed Booster, and I was like, oh wait, no, I have the beam combo that I could use to shoot out the trash blocks. Boy, I hope I don't soft lock doing this because I've done it like twice ever. But it was fine. So yeah.
I'd say better than you knew. I actually was able to segue into talking about the other races that were coming up, including Slaughter's match. So
nice,
worked out
very
well
good.
For me.
Very, very good. I'm glad to have helped. Yeah. Were there any major like differences routing wise or otherwise between me and Sir Cabby? Like, I'm very curious to see if Cabby went to Meridia after picking up Gravity.
No, so the only real difference that happened was that Sir Cabby did not do the ice check early, so missed out on charge. But essentially, in a slightly different order, still went to Croc and Bubble Mountain before heading to Lower Norfair.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Because yeah, the charge was pretty instrumental in some of the decision making there. Because pretty much after picking up at that point I was still on Spazer charge, which is not very much, but I was like, okay, we have charge, right? So ammo isn't as, like, we have real charge, so ammo isn't as big of a deal. And finding plasma at Screw Attack was the real thing that I was like, okay, I don't need to look for miners anymore. I can do this. Because, yeah, I was thinking as I was entering Lower Norfair, it's like, man, I would love to find some beams down here to get some more damage out, and I found all of the other beams, which is very useful. Having the ice plasma for Ridley was very helpful, because that's 600 damage on a fully charged shot against Ridley, which is equivalent to a super, which made the fight a lot easier and quicker, which was good.
Yeah, that was good.
If I was stuck on just Spazer with full charge, like that's a lot of charge shots. And I've done that. I did that once. I did a lot of dash seeds for practice this week, also just because I like dash. I like dash a lot. It's my favorite format. like I did a lot of dash practice, and in one of them I had to kill Ridley with just Spazer and I think full charge, and it took so long. It was really, really slow. And a longer Ridley fight is a deadlier Ridley fight, of course. So I was pretty happy to find that plasma beam there.
Yeah, Ridley does get pretty nasty, especially later in stages if you don't have many, if you don't have savior supers to finish him off. It can really cause you some trouble.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things, because I've now done a fair bit of dash, one of the things that I found really interesting about like the dash decision-making process in general was like, so the minor item distribution is different in dash than it is in a standard major minor. Namely that there are a lot fewer supers than you would otherwise find. So it's much harder to go chargeless in dash because it's just very difficult to find enough supers. Like I think the most supers I've ever found in a dash seed were like 30 or 35. But because you have the baby charge, like it changes things up a lot. Like I still don't claim to have a really strong answer as to like how many minors should you check in a dash seed and like how much. Like I kind of base my decision making off of what other beams I have to see if like it would be worth it. Based on time save and other such stuff. But yeah, like I think the minor item distribution and like the existence of the baby charge beam like really makes the kind of boss, like having enough damage to kill the bosses decision making like really, really interesting, which is just one of the things I really like about dash. More people should run dash. It's good.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it this week, and I hadn't really played it very much, or at all, really, before we knew about week 2. So, what other weeks are you looking forward to, Ploff?
Please give me a moment while I look at the format. I like Chozo. Chozo's fun. I remember that from last season's Rando League. Route Rando, I'm looking forward to watching it. I can't say I'm looking forward to doing it because it sounds brutal. And that's also the week that I'm pretty sure that week our team is facing the Zost Kip. Oh god, I can't remember their third. Like that team. So it's just kind of like, okay, that's gonna be pretty hard to beat. Yeah, I think those are the two I'm probably the most excited for, I would say. Boss Rando is also very interesting, but yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. So
yeah, it should be good. There's a lot of fun stuff. I really like this every week, something different format, something that we hadn't tried in the past, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I hope everybody else is too.
Yeah, I'm really liking the variety, and I imagine it's very interesting to watch as well. Especially because one of the complaints I've heard a lot about like the standard major minor rando is that the meta is it's kind of too well worked out. Like the community as a whole has done enough of the major minor randomizers that like people have a pretty good sense of like what's the good decisions to make in different scenarios, which means there's not as much sort of interesting potential for people to do weird and interesting like you see in some of the other categories. And not that I don't like major minor. I think major minor is quite fine, and I do quite a bit of major minor. But I like seeing the other categories because you get to see not only different decision making, but you get to see categories where like people are still kind of working out like what's the best thing to do in these different cases.
Right. And we are joined by Sir Cabby. Sir Cabby is finished with an SRL time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, 4 seconds. Welcome, Sir Cabby. Good game. How did your seed go for you?
Hey, thank you. I felt like it was okay. I think I made 2 mistakes I wasn't happy about. One was I didn't check waterway with Spazer. I'm not sure when I got Spazer, but I think it was early. And then I skipped the ice check. I just kind of ran past it, and having that charge would have been pretty nice. I was kind of scrambling to finish out Lower Norfair. I had what I needed to complete it, but I didn't. My ammo and damage situation wasn't very good, so I was trying to farm some miners and just trying to find anything I could find through both Upper and Lower Norfair to help me with that.
Yeah.
And in the end, barely managed to scrape by a Ridley defeat. It was not clean at all, but I got it done. And then after that, I was pretty free. I just had to be on my bomb jump game and whatnot.
Oh god.
But yeah, it looks like we had a pretty similar.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I failed the IBJ leaving Dragon's Room like 5 times. I got all the other ones first try, but that one apparently I just couldn't do it. In case you were wondering, Waterway, I think it was either an energy tank or a trash can, so nothing of importance.
Good. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, I was just curious about what could have happened there. What boss order did you go in? I'm curious.
KR DP. I think we went the same order. I did Crane,
yeah, wow.
Went down and did Ridley. Yeah. Did you find any of the movement items? Because I didn't.
I did not. I think we're sitting the same as far as the trackers go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was debating going up and doing wreck ship early, but I was like, I'll save it for the end. And
yeah.
So anyway,
I thought about doing wreck ship, but I instead decided to go to Croc, and during the Croc cutscene realized that I in fact did not need to go to Croc because I'm perfectly comfortable doing the high jumpless gravity jump into Lower Norfair. So I killed Croc. I watched the Croc die cutscene and I just immediately left.
I went ahead and finished up. I did I had one super missile and I got Green Gate glitch over to to the
oh nice
the grapple hook check, which is just another E tank again. And I also did the high jumpless gravity lava dive as well. And man, I felt like my movement was pretty good today. I was actually pretty happy with my play. And man, you crushed me. I'll have to watch this one back. GG. I mean, I knew you were a much better runner than me. I pleaded with you before the race to go easy on me. You absolutely did not.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I did make a few dumb mistakes. So
and you still crushed me. So yeah, it was. I was not going to win this one for sure. I feel like I had a good race for me. I'm pretty happy with it overall. I felt good about it. And man, I had the Golden Ford dead, and I was like, maybe I'll have a chance. And then right around the time I reached the ship, I saw the dot down. I was like, well, never mind.
I was nervous all the way up to the end so I'm not gonna lie. I did look at some of your past runs a little bit because I was like, okay, how good is my opponent? Because I just didn't know. And the week before we were facing a team that was quite a bit better than us, I think. And I remember looking at it, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be a pretty even match, because I don't think you're a bad player at all. So, I was nervous all the way up to the end. I don't know if you noticed, but I messed up typing done the first time because my hands were still, a little bit shaky, because I was just very scared, especially because last week, both the run I did with Komaru, because it was a co-op week last week, both the run I did with Komaru and the run Garby did with Komaru, our team lost by 30 seconds. So it was just kind of I don't want it to happen again.
Yeah, it happened to me because last week it was Kevin and I, and we lost, and I was the last straggler. I think I was in Lower Norfair whenever the other team finished. So it was close as well. If it's that close, I can't be that too upset or anything. It was definitely a good race, even though it was about 9 minutes apart. So I think we probably put on a decent show. But the whole run, I was also I was like, man, I skipped that waterway. Maybe you went a different route and found some movement items, because I was definitely kind of brute forcing, or felt like I was brute forcing some of those parts.
From that I can tell, the major difference is that I checked the ice beam early. Ice beam location is almost always the first thing I check in Upper Norfair in most randomizers, just because usually I have enough health that I'm comfortable doing the hell run without a save. And if you happen to find Speed Booster, it's slightly more efficient routing to Bubble Mountain by 2 seconds or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm usually in the same boat as you as far as that goes. I got burned last race because I had the ability to go either to Meridia or Norfair, and I chose Meridia. And I skipped business center checks like high jump and whatnot. So my first thought was, let's do business center, and then just let me think, do I want to go to Meridia or down to Lower Norfair? And I was just like, I'm just going to clear out Norfair and continue. And then once you're that far, it's like, go ahead and do Lower Norfair. But at that point, I was still hesitating on which way I wanted to go, and I just forgot to go back and check ice after I checked high jump. So it was one of those moments I realized, and I almost passed it again actually. And I'm really glad I checked it, because that charge always makes a big difference.
Yeah, because I was free to skip a lot of the miners on my way down
Yeah.
to Ridley. As I was entering Lower Norfair, I was like on the elevator and I was like doing math. I was like, okay, I have 15 super missiles, which is enough for the back half of Ridley's health. You know, I have this many missiles, so I would need to do like a billion charge shots. And then I found plasma while I was at Screw Attack when I was down there. And I assume you found it too. And I was like, oh, this just got way easier. You know?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was doing tons of minor checks. I also had 15 supers, and I had like 45 missiles, I think. And I was like, man, I don't like this fight, and but you know, I just got to do it. But I didn't have charge at all, and so I was so I was shooting in like a million of these like wimpy shots at Ridley, just trying to get him to that, you know, to turn red, and then I was just going to fire all my missiles and supers into him and try to finish him off that way.
Yeah,
And,
ice plasma with the. Oh, sorry, finish.
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah. With I had every other beam except for charge, so it was, you know, third damage, I think.
Right.
And yeah, it took a while, and I barely scraped it out. I did pretty pitifully, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how it is sometimes. In one of my practice seeds, I finished Ridley with, I believe, 8 health of one time. That was a bit scary. But yeah, GG. This is a fun race.
Yeah, definitely had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you guys put on a great show.
Yeah, and I you know, for the record, I will also admit that I did scope you out before the race as well, and I knew I was in for some trouble, so so yeah, I kind of got into this just recently, and so I played Randos like casually for a while. So I'm still you know, trying to shore up that game, but definitely, you know, you appreciate you know, the good match and the good sportsmanship, and obviously big shout outs to Ploff. Please, you know, check out her channel as well, because I think you'll find much better play over there than on mine. So I am doing my best to catch up to you.
Well, you'll probably do it, because I learn really slowly. I've been playing this game forever, and I'm only okay at it at this point, so yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, GG. Fantastic race. Follow the runners, follow the commentator, follow the tracker, all that good stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Android.
No, you're welcome. Both of you are very welcome for, I'm glad I stepped in. It was a fun show or a fun race to watch. Any final thoughts from either of you before we wrap this one up?
No, I think that's it from me.
Yep. GG again. It was fun.
All right. Well, thank you both, excuse me, for joining for the interview. Just a reminder, we do have a race happening right now. We've got Slowridge versus Kip, and that's on Speed Gaming 1. And then later, we did get a volunteer for commentary on the 9 p.m. between Simo and Hacksaw. So it looks like that one will be happening. And then, of course, 9:30 p.m., we've got Beef Robber and King Salmon. So we still have plenty of good Super Metroid to watch later today. So join in on the fun. And again, thank you to Ploff and Sir Cabby and 2D Tones for showing up for the race today. I appreciate it from everybody, and we'll see you next time.